All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it
Good.
started?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it
Oh,
has. I was just checking, but yes.
yeah. Do we have to be careful now with words?
Well, well, maybe slightly.
Okay, okay. I'll try, but no promises.
Yeah, exactly.
Andreas, great to see you. For me, it's a familiar face, one could say. I've came across your videos already a few years ago when I was searching, and there was still rejection, this, and there was an attraction and rejection. That was how it seems to be. So thanks for the accepting the invitation.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for the invitation.
It's nice to see you. It's the first time I can talk to you instead of just watching you. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I don't know if it will be fun or not, but I will tell you at
Yeah,
the
we'll see. I haven't seen you before, so.
No, which is a good thing.
Oh.
No. Like we said, there are really no questions about this, so it's can be fun to just chat and see what happens or doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And maybe it's will be nice for people who are watching this, if it's possible that you can give a little introduction, if you would like to this.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, what I talk about or what this message points to, it's not personal, so it's not really coming from an experience, which
No.
we may talk about later what that means.
Yeah.
What we talk about is that everything is whole and complete, and that what happens or what seems to be happening is just naturally everything, and that there is nothing deeper to attain or to be found or to be achieved. It's just undivided. Nothing is separate from each other, and it's just undivided and perfect and whole and complete, but in a very ordinary sense. It's not, it has nothing to do with this special wholeness that the person is looking for. And talking about the person, that's the other thing that this points to, that there is no person, that this experience to be a separate something, to be a separate entity, whatever this entity is, an energy or a presence or a soul or whatever, that this entity does not exist. And it doesn't even exist as an illusion, so to speak.
Yeah, of
So
course not.
those are the two things that we talk about, that somehow they belong together. They are automatic. So when there's no person, everything is whole and complete. And when everything is whole and complete and undivided, there can't be a person. So that's basically what we talk about. Though I have to say, this may have sounded a bit logic. It has, what we talk about also hasn't anything to do with logic or knowing.
Yeah.
What we talk about, this message, can't be known really or experienced.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yes.
That's a relief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but in a way, of course, there is no way, but words sometimes are difficult, one could say. It can also be when you first come across this, what we call a message. Of course, there isn't a real message.
Yeah.
It's also just what seems to happen in a way. But it can be very confronting when there is the feeling of being someone. It can be, there's a memory of it here when there was still a search going on. And I've talked about it yesterday at a talk with Agnes, a lady from Romania. And she asked about this. And one of the first speakers I came across was Tony Parsons. And after that, it was you or Jim or something that was what was happening here. And that was, there was a lot of frustration at that time. And it was very confronting in a way, because almost everything, or just everything you believe in.
Yeah.
it's tearing that apart, so
Yeah.
to speak. So
yes, I mean, yes, it is confronting. On the one hand, but of course not in order to be confronting.
no, of
It's
course.
actually the person, so to speak, that comes with its experience, meeting this message in that sense, and it's just thrown back onto itself. I think that this can feel like confronting, like all the beliefs, all the thoughts, all the methods never really worked. But in the light of this message, this somehow becomes obvious.
Yeah.
and not really, as I said, on an intellectual or a mental level. It's also energetic. It threatens this sense of being someone. But yeah, it can be totally confronting, of course.
There's still a memory when you were still seeking before the illusion did apparently dropped away, or is that gone also?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, everyone is a seeker. So before the illusion drops, everyone was seeking. I was, but maybe you mean spiritually, and I was also spiritually seeking. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Was it? How was it for you? You came across Tony for the first?
Yes, actually, when I met Tony, I think in my world he was the only one talking about it. There wasn't
back then. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't something like a non-dual scene, or I understood years later that there is something like a non-dual scene. So I hardly also did know the famous Advaita people. Of course, I'd had heard of Ramana and stuff, but there were others in the last century and I hadn't heard of them. So for me, there was just Tony. There wasn't anyone else really talking. Yes, and actually for me, the spiritual search more or less collapsed a few months before I met Tony.
Okay.
And for me, it was confronting really, but only one night. Really, well, I was really fighting against the message, so to speak. And after this one night, there was no fighting against the message. Of course, in the end, I, as a seeker, again was constantly confronted by life, in daily life and with my personal issues and stuff. But the message, so to speak, that was, I mean, you can't separate it in the end, but that went in easily, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. So it was a quick death.
Well, it still took a while, but yeah.
Nice.
I had my struggles in the spiritual world already. So
yeah, that was more. Yeah, there's so much in that spiritual realm. There's so much to do. Becoming worthy and practices and stuff, and yeah.
That's true, but when I said I think I was, I mean, it's in my story. I think I was just very confronted in the spiritual world already with the inability to make it.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. There was a lot of confrontation. I mean, you can't really separate this message from life itself.
Of course.
So for me, life was already confronting. So my pressure was.
So, and at the end, you didn't make it.
Exactly. So when I met this message, very quickly there was a relaxation in the system.
Yeah, it's weird in a way. Of course, that's also what's happening. Yeah, sometimes it's still a wonder. For me, it seems to be that way. Sometimes thinking about it still happens, and it's so ordinary, but in a way, it's still because it cannot be grasped. Of course, it cannot be understood. Because if someone understood what's being shared here, they're still feeling like a person, just with an understanding of what this is, so to speak. Yeah. Lovely. So, and now after that, Andreas, you started to talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Which was actually the most surprising thing to do, and I wasn't very keen to do it. I mean, it felt right, and but I wasn't keen to do it. I thought, well, there was, I mean, there was nothing to say anymore. So the weirdest thing was actually to start talking. But I could, yeah, really, I was. It felt so absurd. And it still is absurd, to be honest. But I can't really stop it from happening.
Yeah, that's
there is no one there.
It's unexplainable. It's like there is that passion that arises to can't.
Yeah, I don't.
It's hard to explain.
I don't. For me, the funny thing is, I don't really have a passion of talking about it, I'd say, or the passion. Let's put it like this: the passion comes when there is a question, but I'm never sitting there. I don't even know what I talk about, and I'm never sitting there with something I want to talk about this. Never. That doesn't happen. It's not an issue here, but when a question comes, when there is a question about this, then the passion starts. That's how it's here.
Yeah.
So I hardly look forward to a talk in terms of, oh, finally I can talk about non-duality anymore. It doesn't exist. This whole issue has been blown up, really.
Yeah.
but the moment there is there is a question about this, then that's when the passion starts and the joy.
Yeah. And it's unexplainable. For me, it's hard to explain.
Yes, it's a surprise. Yeah, one could say so. Yeah.
Life is full of surprises.
I mean, it's just that there is no knowledge stored here, or as I said, the whole idea that there is something like non-duality has been blown apart, and so there isn't anything that I've stored or that wants to be spoken. It doesn't even want to be spoken, really.
Well, and there's really nothing to say about this as it is already, and yet sometimes talking can happen and go on and on.
Especially late at night after a few glasses of wine.
Yeah, that can be some sensation, I guess, when you go out in a bar having some beers and then say, hey, you're not there, man. It's an illusion.
No, for me, it only goes together with the question. Kind of. It's, for me, this dynamic can't be separated, so to speak.
Okay.
Look at the question and the answering.
It's coming without knowing what is going there to be responded.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's how it is, or how it seems to be. So it's in the story of time, it's for 8 years, you told me you're speaking or sharing this now?
No, it's 12 years now.
12 years, wow.
12 years, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I started in 2011, or this started in 2011.
I started the business then.
That's what I.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't even expect it to be. I thought, if at all, it goes on as at the side and here and there. And I started in German for the first 4 years. I was only speaking in Germany in German.
Okay.
And then at some point, I got questions in English, so to speak.
Yeah. So now you're doing both.
Yeah.
In German and English.
And English, yeah. I'm not capable of doing other languages. So.
Yeah, no. That's fine. You travel a lot also to talk about this?
Yeah. It just has. That's how it happens, so to speak. Actually, even less now than before Corona. Before Corona, I was really, I think for 3 or 4 years, I was almost constantly traveling.
All right. For people who are watching this and are not familiar with you, it can be or not, of course, but Andreas Muller is a no name, one could say, when it comes to about non-duality. I don't know if it's a good thing, Andreas, or not, but
I don't know either. No.
But why I'm saying this, because sometimes it happens that people send me an email and your name came up a few times. People are asking to have a chat with you, so that's why you are a known name when it comes to non-duality. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. And don't know how to explain it otherwise.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not important, of course. So that's not the way it was meant. But for those who are not familiar, you have a website, you have a YouTube channel. You also wrote a few books.
Yeah.
Can you say?
I mean, the books are usually coming out of the talks, so this.
So it's about question and answers in your books?
Most of it, I think 80% or 70% is probably question and answers. Yeah.
Okay. And you also have a website where people can take a look.
Yeah, it's called thetimelesswonder.com. One word. Yeah.
All right. I will put your link in the description if they are want to visit and maybe get in touch or.
Yeah, cool. Great. Oh, very welcome. There are several ways to get in touch with me. They're all on the website, social media and email.
It's very important. So in the story of time, it's 12 years you're sharing this.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are people more open to this than maybe when you started talking? Of course, it's hard to say. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But you still get people who are coming to your meetings, for example, that they are
of course,
upset.
Of course. I mean, there is a number of people who's interested in this or who's open to this. Yeah, definitely, of course.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it's overly growing or growing immensely. I don't see that. So there seems to be just kind of a percentage that's open or interested in this message.
Yeah, there can be an attraction, or I don't know how to say it.
Yes, something seems to ring a bell. But this can't be explained, and it's not real. It's, as you said, it's just what seems to be happening. So there's no real explanation for this. But for some people, there's just an openness to this. And it's funny, my impression is that it goes through all, I'm lacking words. It's rich people and poor people. And
yeah, of course.
So it's really, you can't really, there is no other thing that they are just open to it. You can't compare them. That you can't compare them otherwise. But there's just openness to this.
You can't buy your way into this.
Yeah.
It happens or it doesn't.
Exactly. Either it's there or not, and you can't make it. You can't make being open to this or interested to this.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to happen. There's no need for it.
Oh, not at all. Oh, no. It doesn't matter, of course.
Yeah, that's.
I don't care. It's perfect.
Of course.
As it is, I don't think that more people should be interested in this.
Please give me more. Give me more.
Yeah, no, it's really.
That's where most teachings are about. That you need to overcome the feeling of being someone, and they're going to provide you some steps how to get there or which practice should you do or don't, or
yeah, but I think most teachings don't even go that far that they say you have to overcome the sense to be someone. Most teachings are about, not even conceptually, I'd say. There are many teachings that say that this would be the goal somehow. I think most teachings always point to, also conceptually, to some kind of state.
And always speaking to someone.
Of course, speaking to someone.
That there is a real you, and that's mostly the start of...
yeah, that there is a real unfulfilled you.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
That's what every teaching instantly and automatically confirms. Oh yes, that's true. You are someone and you are unfulfilled. And we definitely have to do something about it. That's really wrong. And we have to work on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And if you pay good money, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but usually it's worth it because it's a very important and meaningful teaching. So.
Yeah. Oh damn! I missed those. Yeah, that's how it seems to be. There's nothing wrong with that. It's even can be even more attractive because there is something to get.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's just the personal world. It's just how the person lives, and it's just mirrors that. And yes, of course, that's fine. That's, of course, it's what happens. I mean, one doesn't even have to call it fine.
It just yeah. No need for labels. Yeah.
We don't have to call it good. But
okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Yeah. Wanted to ask a question, but it's gone. I should have my script here.
Maybe I can say, I mean, when it comes to those teaching things and this message, for the seeker, my impression is, or that's something I'm sometimes accused of, apparently, that this message somehow separates itself from teachings. It says kind of, oh, there are those bad teachings and stuff, and this is the answer, or this is the only truth, or whatever. And it's not really meant like that. Because in a way, if you look at the teachings, I mean, this message really doesn't offer anything for the seeker. It's not a personal message. It just, as we talked about in the beginning, it just points out that everything is perfect. And not even this pointing out happens for a reason. It doesn't add wholeness to wholeness. So saying this is whole and complete, doesn't it make more whole and complete?
I want to be more complete.
Exactly. So, but I think when you look at teachings more closely, they always claim to be special. They claim, and apparently it's all in the story. There, let's put it like this, there is the claim to be special and to be extra and to be a special path to fulfillment. So it's not really that the claim here is that this is the answer, listen to me. Usually that happens in the teachings. So again, the teachings are personal. So again, they live in a separate world of specialness and path and goals and all that stuff. This message doesn't offer that. And of course, sorry, I'm finished soon. And of course, for the seeker, this seems as if it's different. And of course, the seeker would assume that this is another kind of claim, but it actually isn't.
No, it's all inclusive, if I can use that sort of sentence, because sort of sentence.
Yeah. Yes.
Because often also or they are also saying that it's a denial, and this, but it's not a denial at all. It's just all included.
Absolutely, you can't deny what's not there.
Yeah.
That's the one side. And on the other side, it's in a way the only apparent message that says yes to what happens. And it also says yes to the teachings. It says yes to everything, but exactly as what it is.
Yeah.
And this doesn't claim to be helpful. This says this is not helpful. The teachings aren't helpful. There is no difference in nothing being helpful for the seeker. But in a teaching, the person would say, wait, stop. This is helpful. If you do this method, if you earn a lot of money, if you are polite to your neighbors, which are all kind of teachings, this will make a difference. And
yeah, it's the ultimate truth.
exactly. So that's where the idea of a difference is created. This message doesn't do that, really. Say, this is ordinary, teachings are ordinary. To be in a personal reality is kind of ordinary, but illusory, of course.
Yeah, it's like almost everything is dismantled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. Dismantled and leveled out.
Yeah.
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 Nothing stands out of wholeness.
No, of course not. Yeah. Complete cannot be more complete than it is already.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's also the teachings are trying to get where you already are.
Yes and no. I've always kind of a bit problems with that. It's true in a way, but of course not as an experience. So, you know, it may sound as if the seeker, so to speak, is just too dumb to understand it because you are already there. But of course, yes, it's already the case in that sense.
Words, of course, but when you're still feeling like being someone, there really is no need for something to happen. It's already as it is. Also for the from, but it doesn't felt that, or it doesn't feel that way for the person.
Exactly.
For the person,
it's of course this too is whole and complete, and you're right. Then nothing had.
Sorry, toys.
Oh, it's at least one time in this interview.
Okay. I will cut it out now.
No, I mean that you're right. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so glad you really made my day, Andreas. Finally, somebody saying it. I've waiting for this a very long time.
Yeah, sorry, but
it's fine. So, but yeah, now I've interrupted you. I've already lost what it was.
Oh, you're right. Even when there is the sense of a person, nothing has to happen or nothing has to be done about it. But you can't really tell that to the person. But
oh, that's how it energetically seems, how that movement goes, or I don't know how to explain, but
exactly.
It's that was also when it was over, so to speak. That was also the disappointment, and in a way, there was the idea van is in Dutch. There was the idea of how stupid is this? How silly is this? That what's longing for so long, or was searched for so long, was already this the whole time. Yeah, it's basically how it did appear here. Yeah, when if you can see it, you can see it. There's nothing more to say about it. But yeah, it was already like that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There is nothing new coming in.
No. Yeah. It was not that special or hidden or whatever. It seems, of course, there's no. It also has only reality for here, so to speak. It was when I was still seeking in a spiritual way. It wasn't always like that. Before it was in company life and and then the last years were in spirituality. It seems to be that there was something hidden and something special, and yeah, and it turns out it was just the end of that.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without the bells and the whistles and the fireworks and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think in this story here, but there was a kind of joy actually. It felt, I mean, the thing is, it wasn't lovely for me, or it wasn't joyful for me,
Yeah, of course not.
but suddenly everything, not suddenly, I mean, I had this fading out, but it was just, everything was just all right and whole and complete and total. And
Yeah.
yes, it kind of surprising that nothing new came in. It wasn't a new experience. So it isn't what we talk about, isn't a new experience. On the other hand, it's not just an empty word, kind of, that this is whole and complete. Of course, it doesn't mean anything, but
Yes, every word is just empty.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your words are empty.
But not in the seemingly world for the person. Every word has a meaning.
Yes.
And if I understand maybe that one word, then I will get there. Where yeah. Yeah, that's not how, that's just a part what cannot be seen then. That things aren't real things, that the emptiness of it is hidden when that feeling of being someone is still there, so to speak.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So there's no importance to the words that are
No,
used.
not at all. No, of course not. No, no, no. No, just in a very funny way, I just said, well, when I said this is wholeness, or it is whole and complete, in a very direct way, it's meant like that. It doesn't carry a truth, or I don't mean it in terms of a certain circumstance that can be known. But of course, in the story, one could say it really is whole and complete. Of course, for no one knows this, and it's not an experience of someone and all that stuff. But
Yeah, it's the end of it.
yeah, it's the end of the illusion of seeking and the suffering that comes out of it, and a kind of apparently really.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's not just a faraway concept what we talk about here. It's quite ordinary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's the end of specialness.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to add something to this conversation, Andreas?
Well, not really, I guess. I mean, it's whole and complete. There's nothing to say really.
No, there isn't. So everything just goes as it seemingly goes.
Yeah.
Nothing more to say about that, right?
Yeah, it's just not personal. It's a funny thing that how I think the person can't really understand that, and it's not necessary to be understood. That there is this apparent pointing to this being whole and complete, which is exactly what it is. It's pointing to itself,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, it's not personal, and it's not standing out. It stays the same wholeness, but apparently it does what it does. And it's this pointing out that all seeking isn't necessary and is part of an illusion. And in a way, apparently, sorry, it does do that with quite sincerity. I don't know if that's a word. It does that with very honest and with sincerity. But it's not special, and it's not for anyone.
It has no reason.
Oh, not at all. No. I mean, the only reason would for the person would be, does it create more wholeness? Does it make my experience more whole and complete?
Yeah.
And this reason just isn't there. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the part that isn't for the person, and it's hard to understand that things appear without any reason.
Yeah, it's impossible to understand, of course. I mean, in the end, I mean, in the end, it's not really appearing. in terms of coming into, because that's when the person fails. Because the person, of course, is left with this impression that something is happening, something is appearing, and then there's always why. So it's a bit. So for the person, it just remains a concept that this is happening for no reason, but it's not even happening really.
That was helpful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I'm having no more questions. Seems to be, Andreas.
Lovely.
It was lovely to talk about this.
Yes. Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks for accepting it. I'm going to put your links in the description.
Cool.
So people can have a look at your website, or if they are interested in reading this or reading about this. Are there links where they can find your books? Or
yeah, it's actually all on the website.
All on the website.
I think it should be,
All right.
Should be clear. I don't know. But,
I didn't take a look at it, so sorry for that. It's it seems to fall away. There was a time when I still when the illusion was no more. Still, I did look at many non-duality meetings. It was such a joy to still looking at that, but that also seems to fall away. So didn't do any research at your website. Sorry for that. I will pray for it.
Well, I didn't expect it.
So, but it was really great. It was enjoyable to talk with you. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Bye-bye, Andreas. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye. Goodbye.